Hey everybody, Dave Weiss here for the Glue Bomb Show. Well, today I've got an interesting one for you. I was going through my local Hobby Lobby looking for a can of paint, and you know when you see the cans of paint, they're right across the street from the models. And so I turned around and I happened to see they had a clearance sale going on, including this little number, the Airfix Quick Build Volkswagen Beetle. I didn't know for sure. I've been looking at these for a while, trying to decide whether or not I wanted to pick one up. And then I saw the price tag. $4.99. And I thought, well, for $4.99, I'm going to give it a shot. When I saw Quick Build, I figured, well, maybe it's just like a snap kit. But then I got it home. And I really looked at it, and look, it goes together pretty much like Legos. Well, now I've got to build it. So I'm going to build this on the video and show you what it's like, and I'll get back to you with some closing comments at the end. So here we go. The first thing I noticed was you will need a sprue nipper for this. I was sort of anticipating that you would be able to just cut these off with the scissors, but you really need a sprue nipper. So the first thing you do is you put the hubcaps on it. I'm showing you this recording in real time. It took me about 11 minutes to do the build, and so it's a really simple build, but again, it goes together pretty nicely. The folks at Airfix, I think, did a pretty good job with it. I'm kind of excited to see. I may take this apart and let my grandson have at it. It's made to require no paint and no glue, of course, and I don't know, it's an easy build, needless to say. I expected it to be an easy build, seeing it as it is the quick build system. Now, as far as the tires go, there is a way to put them on and a way not to put them on. At first, I was really trying to force it, and I thought, man, this is hard. And then I realized there's an inner lip on the top part of the tire, so it slides right over the wheel. It took me a second to figure that out, as you'll probably see as we look at the video. So here we're putting the, I should have been looking at the screen a little more and a little less at my fingers, evidently, but anyway, you see I'm getting the wheels put together here. It doesn't take a lot of time. Kind of fun. And again, really easy. Yeah, if you're an experienced builder, I really wouldn't recommend one of these unless you really need the body type of the vehicle that you're trying to put together. But if you're building with a kid, especially a young kid who's done some work with Legos, this would be really pretty ideal, I think, for them. A good opportunity to sit down with a youngster. This is something I didn't make work quite right. I popped the wheels on pretty quickly. They worked just fine. You're seeing my hands more than the video. I apologize for that. Also, you see I didn't get the one tire put to get on quite right. Yeah, okay, this one was a little bit hard to get on for some reason. Maybe there was just a tiny bit of flash or something. I'm not sure. But overall, the fit was really pretty good. And yeah, here I haven't yet figured out that it's upside down and it needs to go on the other way. So it took me just a minute to get that figured out. I had anticipated that the bumpers would go on from the bottom. As it turns out, I didn't realize this was the bottom either. So it took me a second to get this, and then I figured it out, and then here we go. The bumpers appear to be identical. I was kind of wondering and hoping I didn't get the wrong one on the wrong way, but they're pretty much identical, so it worked out. Now we're going to start assembling the rest of the body. We start off with the front end. Now I didn't see the headlights were clear, so it took me a second to find the headlight parts, which is what I'm doing here. I didn't see them in the bag with the interior glass, so that wasn't the best move on my part, obviously, but I found them now. They pop in pretty nicely. Again, you need your sprue nipper. I was a little surprised by this because I kind of figured they wouldn't have the things on sprues in the event that a young kid was putting this together, that they would need that they wouldn't need adult supervision, but they are going to need a little bit, because you're going to either need an X-Acto knife or a good sharp sprue nipper. But, you know, again, that's minor. one of the great things about this hobby is you can do it with young kids, but only if you're helping them. All right, so there you see the headlights went in, and we're going to pop that on the front. Took me a second to figure out that was the back. Nope. There we go. Now I got it. All right. And then you hold the parts in place with blocks, pretty much like a Lego construction would be. And I had to change my camera angle at this point. So here we have these little blocks that need to go on there to hold it in place. They're the interior color. They even gave you a separate color for the interior, which I liked. And you just pop them in there like so. That holds that in place. And with that, we can move on to the construction of the rear of the vehicle. Again, very simple. Pop it on like Lego. For some reason, I was having a little bit of difficulty getting that part to line up, but I got it lined up now. And then it's time, I think, to install, the hood lid. Can somebody tell me, when the engine's in the back, is the thing in the back the trunk, or is it the hood? I'm never quite sure. And then we put together the side panels of the body, which is really just as simple as attaching the little part that goes around the back fender to the door. And then you put that in place. Actually, I did both of them at once. And then put them on. And there you see a little lack of coordination on my part, but we got it. These parts were a little bit hard to get to snap into place quite right, but it didn't take but a second to figure it out. It wasn't that I didn't know where they went, it was simply that I was having a hard time getting the holes to line up. And when I say hard time, that's kind of a relative term, since again, it took me 11 minutes to build the thing, so really not bad at all. Yeah, as you can see, this is not complex modeling, but if you were building with a kid, this would be really nice. Just a nice, quick activity for a kid, and they can go play around with it then and have a good time with it. So I put the seats in, and then we put in the rear bench seat. Oh, there's another piece in the back there to lock in. And then we put the bench seat in. It's funny is the seats actually have the little knobs on, which leads me to believe you could possibly get a driver for this and some people to sit in it, but I didn't see any ordering instructions on that. Of course, I probably wouldn't be doing that anyway. Next, you put the glass in. The glass snaps in really nicely and pretty quickly. You just have to give it a good push there at the front. And then you're going to put the stickers. There's a sticker for the steering wheel. And of course, you have to remember this is a British kit, so the steering wheel is on the, according to Americans, wrong side of the car. My grandson's going to have fun with that. So, anyway, you get it on. I have to admit I had a little trouble lining it up, and for the sake of the video, I rushed it a little bit. And then you also have a small dashboard sticker to put on. Burnish it down a little bit. Now here's where I made another mistake. I tried to attach it to the body of the car, but that's not how it goes on. It actually goes into the underside of the body, and you snap it into place. Again, it's a very simple build, and it's such a simple build that you start to assume things that you probably shouldn't assume. Like, I figured the next step would be to put on the body, and I got the body into place, and then I realized that the best way to do it is the way the instructions tell you to do it, which is to put the hood on first. Again, hood, trunk, I don't know. The front flap of the car. It didn't quite fit on the way I wanted it to, and I realized the error of my ways when I looked at the instructions, so I pulled the body back off. Came off pretty easily. And then put the hood lid on. We're just going to call it the hood for now, because I'm not sure which it is. And then once you have that snap firmly in place, and it took me a second to get that. Once that snaps in just right, that was a little bit of a hard thing too, to get it to snap in. Again, not terribly hard, but you know what I mean. Just had a little bit of a time getting it on there. And then finally you snap the whole thing into place. And after that you turn it over. You put the bumper on the back. And finally you have stickers for the tail lights and a little license plate. These were a little challenging to get on for my sausage fingers, I will admit. I probably should have had a tweezers for this. It probably would have made it a little bit easier. But I was trying to assemble it like you would assemble it with a kid. Model building has really changed since my grandson's come along, because I look at everything pretty much now as to whether or not I could build it with him. And this one I'm pretty sure is going to be disassembled and taken to his house, and we will glue it, put it together there together. So that's pretty much it. There's the completed model. Again, very easy to build. Overall, snaps right together. So there you have it, the Volkswagen Beetle from Airfix Quick Build series. Again, it went together in about 11 minutes. It goes together like Lego. Not necessarily a fun kit for somebody who's an experienced builder, but hey, for somebody who wants to build with a child, wants to get a child started in the hobby, this would be a really good way to go, because again, most little guys and little girls start working with Lego pretty young, and so they could probably master this. Again, you should need a little adult supervision, because you're going to need either a sprue nipper or an X-Acto knife to get a few things off the sprues. Most of the things aren't on sprues, which is kind of nice. But anyway, this is what we got. For what it's worth, it was kind of fun. You could paint it up a little bit and detail it a little, and it would look a little bit still like a toy, but it would be all right. So that's what we got, the Airfix Volkswagen Beetle. If you think this looks interesting, you have some youngster to build it with, pick it up. Because it was kind of fun, and that's good, because model building is supposed to be fun. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great day.